This clip is brought to you by VegasWinners.com. Get expert sports betting advice from some of the best handicappers in the world. Head on over to VegasWinners.com and win yourself some money.
No worries at all. We'll talk about what happened next. So,
okay.
Moving on, the next day, you're in Philadelphia. It's you and Wahoo McDaniel once again wrestling to a time limit draw at the Civic Center. And let's pretend a little bit here for a second that you're not flying at any time at this point. If you were driving, Arn, that's 1,725 miles over 3 days. How much of a toll does all this travel take on your body?
Oh, God, it'll kill you. There's nothing like going out and beating your body up for 20 hard minutes. But it's a different kind of fatigue than sitting in a car for 5 or 6 hours. And depending on what car you had bought. Now, in those days, we were still in that era of buy a small car that was good on gas, because predominantly we were going to be driving. That was one thought process. There was a top guy thought process that said, get you a big car to where you and 3 other guys can be comfortable. Because if they have a luxury car, and guys were still paying trans back then, 4 or 5 cents a mile to ride with somebody else. So if you got in their Cadillac, and man, it was roomy, and you had, nice stereo, plenty of room, and then they got in your Toyota Corolla, that was a heated issue when it was time to swap it out. You know what I mean? So, guys started to make money around this time. And I'm telling you, the parking lot at Jim Crockett Promotions was something to behold, because guys, some of them had made money before, but this was the first time making money for some guys. And man, guys were buying homes, guys were buying cars, and you would pull in that parking lot, you'd see Barry Windham's Porsche sitting there, Dusty's Mercedes, you would see JJ's Cadillac, Ricky Morton had a 900 Saab, forget what Robert had, Magnum had a Porsche, Tully and I went down and bought, 300E Mercedes. Hell, Tully bought 2 in one day. So if you're going to drive, now one was for him, one for his missus at the time. If you were going to make the trips, and we were still predominantly driving a lot of towns based out of Charlotte, man, you better have a nice, dependable car. You better have one with some get up and go, because it was loaded down with 2 or 3 wrestlers in their bags. A lot of things to consider in those days. And to answer your question, you get in the car after beating your body up, and now you got another 4 or 5 hours without air conditioning blowing on you, trying to cool down. And one other thing that most people don't realize is you had that air conditioner blowing on you, buddy, to keep you awake. So out on those on those deserted roads, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, you needed to stay awake. And even in the wintertime, you would never cut that heater on, because what does it make you do? Get sleepy.
That's right.
And it was as big a part of your job was the travel and getting there safe and getting everybody else there safe and being on time, and all that was as much a part of your job as the wrestling end.
So if you're in the car and you're driving with other wrestlers, a lot of talking, or are you listening to tunes?
Well, both.
Okay.
In those days, you would try to travel with who was compatible with you. And man, you would talk about each other's matches, and you would become the booker for a minute. And you would go, hey man, I liked your match tonight. This one part, you did this. Have you ever thought about doing that? And we would help each other, and we would start to lay out stuff, and we would talk things over, and maybe something that didn't look good, you would tell a guy, if you were close enough to him, hey, you might want to take that out. That's not doing anything for you, and a lot of guys got better from talking to guys that were more experienced and just riding down the road, talking about stuff.
Well, ladies, hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.